My brain is only a receiver. In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists.
Knowing the roles of beings, deities, and entities, and how to seek for their help.
The poets who did wonderful well, most of them worked with these entities. The artists who did wonderful well, most of them worked with some deity, either be it good or be it evil. Whatever it is, there are these entities and deities who are in to assist us. In this universe, there's a source, there's a core where knowledge comes from. If you want to understand the universe, think of it in frequency, vibration, and energy. Every soul on earth at certain point in time needs divine grace. And for you to have this divine grace on earth, you need to contact the department or the beings that are in the department of virtue. Good day, brothers and sisters. Once again, I want to welcome you to the Way Network and to thank you for all the support that you have given the network over the years. And we give you the promise of coming your way with the best of knowledge as much as the universe provides us, and to explain things to the lowest form of understanding, so anybody who comes to learn from the Way Network would have a clear view of what this entire existence is all about. You know very well that at the Way Network, it is not just about spiritual knowledge, but it's also about all aspects of human endeavor, because we want people to have clarity of life, get an in-depth to the dynamics of existence, so as you can live a whole life, a balanced life, to be able to live a life of contentment. People are struggling for nothing. People are going through all sorts of situations in terms of their marriage, in terms of their workplaces, in terms of their relationship, in terms of their family life. All just because of lack of knowledge. And as the Bible puts it, for lack of knowledge, people perish. For the things that we don't know are the things actually killing us. The things that we don't know are the things that are actually destroying us. The things that we don't know are the things that are actually unmaking us. Because once you become aware and become conscious of something, and you have adequate knowledge of whatever you want to do, it is very, very, very scarce for you to make mistakes. So then it is imperative that we all try as much as possible to have knowledge. And what kind of knowledge? To have adequate and true knowledge. And this is what the intelligences that want to control the entire human race are trying as much as possible to make sure that majority of the human race will not have access to authentic knowledge. Knowledge that necessitates the total evolution of the human consciousness. This is the kind of knowledge that we need to acquire. The knowledge of who you are, which is the highest knowledge, and the greatest achievement of realizing, unleashing, materializing what you truly are. Once you're able to know who you truly are, you have climbed to the apex of all knowledge. And once you are able to materialize what you are, you have gotten to the highest of all achievement. And in these two lies one's greatness. In these two lies one's contentment. In these two lies the happiness and the joy that you've always look for. And unfortunately, we have been looking for things outside where we can never find them. And all that we have looked for is who we are. All that you have been looking for your contentment, whether you are the low side of life or you are the high side of life, what you are looking for to get contentment, peace, tranquility, soundness in life, and balance in life is you. And once you find that you, and you know how to deal with this you in relation to the external world, everything else begins to make sense. And that is why today we are here to talk about some important form of knowledge that has to do with the relationship between the divine inside and the divine on the outside, which is the macro energy or the micro intelligence and the macro intelligence. We have noticed that a lot of people across the social media are teaching all sorts of remedies, all sorts of rituals, all sorts of prayer lines, giving people all sorts of directions. But it is evident that most people don't get the results. And the question is that why is it that results are not forthcoming after people have executed all the directions and rituals and prayer lines that they have been given? And people are spending sleepless nights. People are spending huge sums of money just to seek for some liberation one way or the other from one problem or one predicament or the other. But in all the effort that they make, in all the prayers, in all the direction that they make, it seems not to have solution. What is missing? Stay glued and pick your pens and paper, because at the end of this whole journey, you would understand and you will learn certain basic information, and very, very important for that matter, that will revolutionize your perception and understanding of your life, existence, and in relationship to other beings and entities that are here with us. And that is what we are here to learn today. We are here to study the roles of beings, deities, and entities, and how you can solicit for their assistance and how you can solicit for their help. Because most people have been trying to solicit for the help of one force or the other, but they don't get the results that they desire. And it appears that nothing is really working. The question is, how much knowledge do you have about these energies? It is not just about waking up and say it is the full moon, so you look at the moon and you say certain words. It doesn't work that way. And that is why you have been doing all these things and paying money and buying all spiritual items, and you do the moon exercises and you don't have results, because it does not work that way. And this whole universe is shrouded in mysteries. This whole universe, it is not just an ordinary material physical space we are existing. There are things behind the physical material forms that we see. And just like a movie, that the celebrities or the actors, you see them on the screen, behind the screen or behind the scenes, there are intelligences and brains that are working behind the scenes to make the movies that you see very beautiful and very appealing. If the intelligences behind the scenes are not understood, the direction of the movie becomes a little bit problematic, and it will not be appealing and exciting as they intended it to be. But most often than not, we look at the screen and we admire the actors and the celebrities that perform the script, and we forget the real brains and intelligences behind the actors. The actors that you see, they are not as perfect as you see, but there are brains and intelligences behind the scene that work to make sure they shape the actors and the actresses to look perfect in your sight in terms of acting. They make a lot of mistakes along the line. Cut. No, don't say it this way. Say it that way. Don't do it this way. Move it that way. This is what true life is. When you go to the football pitch to watch football matches, you don't pay attention to the coach, be it the assistant coach, the goalkeeper coach, or the main coach. You always admire the players and how well they play. But how well these players play on the pitch, it's been directed by certain intelligences, including management and the team's administration, including the technical team. These people are not recognized, but you just appreciate the players on the field. What I'm trying to say is this: in life, all the beautiful things you see, anything you see which is beautiful, there are intelligences behind these things. Just as you see a Rolls Royce that is very beautiful, you just admire the Rolls Royce, but you forget the fact that the Rolls Royce was invented and was modeled by some intelligence. When you see some kind of iPhone or some kind of Samsung, it looks so beautiful, and at the shop, you admire this Samsung or this iPhone, forgetting that behind the iPhone or the Samsung, there are intelligences that created and formed this iPhone or the Samsung. So humanity has been entrapped and enslaved within the limited perceptions of reality, that we admire creation and material things so much to the extent that we tend to forget that behind the material things lies certain intelligences and certain energy that formulate and ensure these material things continue to exist. How well do we understand the roles of the beings, entities, and deities in the formation of material beauty, or in the formation of the beauty in creation? If we tend to forget about these energies and intelligences that makes this whole universe so beautiful, we've missed the mark. And we will continue to pursue the material beauty, and we will not be able to achieve anything that will bring us contentment and happiness. This is the worry and the problem of a lot of people in this world. And today we want to study and learn about some of these intelligences and their roles and responsibilities in this material dimension in relation to things that are manifesting in this physical life. So that when you have a desire, so that when you have a responsibility, so that when you have a petition, you know what intelligence or what energy to petition and how to go about it. Because not knowing the entity or the energy to petition and how to petition the energy, whatever you do, you will never get results. And there are secrets to life. All these beautiful things you see that has been invented, they just didn't come into play through thinking. And this is one of the greatest lies ever told to humanity. That the human mind is the greatest weapon that we have. The human mind is a great tool, but still has its own limitations and has its own weakness. Our emotions It's an energy field of limitless potential, yet it has its own limitations and it has its own barriers that they cannot go beyond. Our senses that we depend on are wonderful tools as well, but they have the extent to which they can function. But beyond their functionality, beyond their limits, lies endless, profound intelligence that we can feed in and be able to tap to limitless intelligences. And this is where we have not been able to connect to. And all the inventors and all the scientists and all the great men of history that changed the course of human history had knowledge and access to these intelligences. And before we proceed to the main content of today's message, I would want us to take a few quotes from some of the greatest people who ever existed and make significant change in the history of humanity and change the course of human history. One of such great people that I admire so much is called Nikola Tesla. He's one of the world's greatest scientists and inventor who ever existed. And I will take this quote that he made. It says, "In the universe, there is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secrets of this core, but I know that it exists." So Nikola Tesla is making us aware that the mind is not as powerful as we have been made and indoctrinated through school to believe. But rather, the mind is an antenna that receives and transmits information. And he says that his brain is a receiver of his inventions. And he knows that in this universe, there is a core from where cometh knowledge, strength, and inspiration. He makes it clear that that core, the secrets that holds that core, he has not penetrated those secrets yet. But one thing he knows is that that core in this universe that provides all the knowledge, all the strength, and all the inspiration, that core does exist. This is Nikola Tesla. And you can Google about him and read more about his achievements. Such a great mind, admitting the fact that the mind is so limited that all the inventions that they make, the mind just receive it. Now, there's another great scientist that most people know about him. His name is called Albert Einstein. And he also made a very profound statement. And I will try to paraphrase that statement. He says that in the knowledge attained and its glorious achievement is only a matter of task. And any intelligent student can grasp it without any troubles. But the years of anxious search in the dark, prolonged effort, and exhaustion in confidence, in the final emergence with the light, only those that experience it understands it. I'll repeat. It says that in the light of knowledge attained, with all its glorious achievements, is only a matter of task. And any intelligent student can grasp this knowledge without any troubles. But the years of anxious search in the dark, prolonged effort, and exhaustion in confidence, and in the final emergence with the light, only those that experience it understands it. So he's talking about two things. That knowledge comes from darkness. But the years of anxious search in the dark, prolonged effort, and exhaustion in confidence, then finally you emerge with the light. Where is the light? If the light is coming from the mind, why do you have to emerge with it? That means there is an intelligence that transcends the personality. And when you emerge with that intelligence that transcends our personality of thought, and that intelligence reveals a particular knowledge to you, it is only you that merges with that intelligence that understands. It is only you that experience that light, that experience that intelligence, that understands. These are great minds. These are great minds. These are great minds. And this is what these great minds are telling you. So what do you think of it? These great minds are telling you there are secrets to this universe. And these secrets are there not for just ordinary people. They are there for people who want to learn and know. When you read 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 6, verse 7. I paraphrase this. The quotation says that the wisdom that I have come to proclaim is not unto small minds, but it is unto them that have attained spiritual maturity. But it is God-hidden wisdom, which he ordained hidden for man's own glory. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6 and 7. Paraphrased. So there are hidden wisdom, which is a mystery in this life. And you must understand the mysteries of this life. Because what is happening in the material dimension, what is happening in the physical world, is governed by the mysteries of that dimension of reality. And if you don't understand the mysteries which is the intelligences which is behind manifest creation, which is behind this material world, which is behind this physical world, you'll be trapped in illusion. But when you understand these mysteries, it is the hope of all glory. Because it was ordained for man's own glory. And all this, and most of these scientists and great minds of history believe in spirituality. They believe in the mysteries behind creation. And the ordinary minds has been programmed through school to think that everything is all just about thinking. Everything is all just about the mind. And the problem is this. Most people don't even think, but they think they are thinking. Because thinking is a process. And we have not been taught how to use our minds. So, when we are there and we are assessing things at random, picking in frequencies of thought at random, we call it thinking. But most people don't know how to think. Because thinking is a process. Processing a subject matter to come to a logical conclusion and to have findings and to have implementable solutions. This is thinking. But most people don't think. When thoughts keeps filtering through your mind at random, we call it thinking, and that is not thinking. But that is not what we are in to do. Today we are in to talk about the roles of the beings, the energies, and the entities, and how you can solicit their help in life. Let's take another quote from this book. The title of the book is The Path of Perfection. The title of the book is The Path of Perfection, written by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He's the founder of the ISKCON Society, the Hare Krishna movement, okay, Prabhupada. And the book is entitled The Path of Perfection. It's one of the books I studied and I loved most when it comes to spirituality. Now, when you read, you only take page I think page, just a moment, I think page 145, page 145, the second paragraph and the last sentence. The second paragraph and the last sentence, it says, it is said that even such a great scientist as Albert Einstein was reading the Bhagavad Gita regularly. So this is the quote, a great scientist as Albert Einstein was reading the Bhagavad Gita regularly. And what is the Gita? What is the Bhagavad Gita? The Bhagavad Gita is the spiritual manuscript or the spiritual text of the Hare Krishnas and the Hindus and other Buddhist religion. So what am I trying to infer? I'm trying to let you know that these great minds, they were deep into spirituality. They were deep beyond the physical. And that is why they were able to do these marvelous things and marvelous inventions that they did. These are the secrets of great men. Now, I'll take the last but one quote, and from Nikola Tesla again. It says that the day that science begins to study the non-physical phenomena. So now, Nikola Tesla is making you know there is a non-physical, there's a phenomena which is not physical. It says that the day science begins to study the non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all the previous centuries of its existence. It said the day that science begins to study the non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade. 1 decade means 10 years. Than in all of the previous centuries of its existence. So Nikola Tesla is trying to tell us that the day science will begin to study the mysteries behind the physical phenomena, because science normally studies the physical phenomenon, examine it, comes out with empirical evidences, and based on which they develop their theories, they develop their laws, and they develop their hypotheses. And it says that if science can go beyond the studying of the physical phenomena to begin to study the non-physical phenomenon, which is the intelligence behind or the entities and the beings behind the physical phenomena, science will make progress, more progress within 10 years than all the centuries that science has existed. This is what Nikola Tesla, who was one of the greatest minds of history in terms of science, is saying. That there's a non-physical phenomena that controls the physical phenomena. And when humans, now I'm shifting it from science, when humans can be able to delve deep into the activities and the functionalities and the roles of the non-physical reality, humans can make more progress in life than they have made all their lives. This is the secret to existence. And that is why today we are here to study some of the non-physical phenomena of this life, to give you a better perspective to what existence is about. Because most of the things that you think are, actually they are not. And most of the things that you think they are not are the things that actually are. And this is the paradox of existence. I will take the last one, which is coming from Emerson. Okay, I'll take the last one coming from Emerson, Ralph Emerson. It says that the secret of great men is not made public. The secret of great men is not made public. Can you imagine? This is what a great mind like Ralph Waldo Emerson is saying, that the secret of great men is never made public. So don't think that all the 7 ways to make money, the secrets of wealth creation, that is all that they are telling you. It is not the true secret, because the true secret of great men is never made public. You must be able to go deep into the non-physical reality, to be able to understand the secrets that make men great. What you can talk about them, from Plato to Archimedes to Alexander the Great, all of them were people that delved deep into the non-physical phenomena. But they don't tell you. And why is it that they don't teach the non-physical phenomena in school? Because their intentions for forming school is not to make all men great, but to make a few people great and to make the majority factory hands or average class people. So today, please call a friend to subscribe to the Way Network and listen to this video. Listen to this lecture because it's going to help you. Because I'm going to talk to you about things that they don't want you to know. I'm going to talk about things that would change your life for eternity. In this physical life and in the hereafter, when you have transcended this physical dimension of reality. And you are going to bequeath this knowledge to your children, and it's going to be to your children's children. So this knowledge you are going to share in part and in whole will be a generational transformation knowledge. So stay glued to the end because you will never regret you did it. Thank you very much. So we are looking at, and I've taken my time to do an in-depth editorial. We are looking at knowing the role of beings, deities, and entities, and how to seek for their help or how to seek their assistance. Because, truth be told, by effort you can achieve very little. And that is why it is said that the world operates on what we call the 10-90 rule. The personality does only 10% of effort. The 90% of the effort is done by energies within the realm of non-physical reality or non-physical phenomena. So if you are being made to believe that all your effort brings about the success, I'm telling you, this is why you are struggling with life. If you have been made to believe that your intellectual assessment and your emotional intelligence is what determines how successful your marriage would be, I want to tell you today, this is why you are struggling with your marriage. If you have been made to believe that your intellectual calculations is what will make you rich, I want to tell you today that that is why you are struggling with your business. Because businesses, relationships, marriages, and activities of human life is governed by the non-physical reality. And we must find a way to establish contact with these non-physical realities that has always been the chief determinants of what happens within a physical reality. Because the physical reality does not own itself. It is just a manifestation of the divine principle that governs the non-physical reality. And once you understand this divine principle,